So this next story is one that could have turned out very, very badly with a completely different ending, but thanks to a citizen somewhere, one good Samaritan, it didn't. It actually ended up with someone having their life saved. So we try to find out more because the other part of this story, outside of the good part where someone just decides, I'm going to do what I can to help this person, is that person who did it has seemingly disappeared. After spending 20 minutes trying to help, administering CPR to someone, and then the emergency services show up, and this person has, as I said, vanished. Family would like to reach out and say, more than anything, I guess, thank you. So let's try to find out more. Gloria Borelli is the gentleman who, by the way, in question is Sabato Borelli. His is the life that was saved. And she is on the line along with Lucie Orfeo here as well. Let me start with you, Gloria. First of all, can you describe exactly what happened? So I want to understand your dad, he's 87 years old, and what was going on? What was happening?
Correct. I got a call last Thursday around this time, which is just, anyway, that my dad was at the Sacré-Cœur Hospital, and when they asked me to go, and they said, don't worry, he just wasn't feeling well. When I showed up, I hear that he's in ICU, and next thing I know, he's on life support, and I was like, what just happened? And then I just learned that my dad had a cardiac arrest and wasn't breathing, and somebody performed CPR for 20 minutes nonstop. And the doctor said, had this not been done, my dad would not be with us.
So your dad, as I understand it, he was just out for a walk, right?
Well, my dad usually goes and he jogs Jerry Park every single day.
Oh.
Yes. So he's like not your typical 87-year-old. He's always moving. He's always doing something. We say he's got ants in his pants because he's just full of life. And he just, even now, you have to see him. He's like, there's no need for me to be here. And he's not speaking. And he's like, I got to get out of here. How am I going to get better if I'm in bed?
That in and of itself is pretty amazing. So he's 87 years old. He goes out for a daily jog. And he's obviously, up until now, from what you know, he's in perfectly normal health, right? No problem anywhere?
Up to now, he's never had anything. This is the first time, not even as much as a headache. So this is the first time. This is why we're really, really shocked. I thought my dad he's immortal. I thought he was going to outlive everybody. So
that's
this
crazy.
is really shocking for us.
Okay,
yes.
So you get a call. He's in the hospital. Obviously, you're concerned. You know, let's face it. He's 87 years old.
Well, no, not really.
No?
I thought on the way there, my daughter's like, "Mom, should we call the family?" I said, "No, I'm sure he probably fell or tripped or something." I said, "Oh, he probably got a few scratches." So you can imagine when I got there and I hear that he's in ICU, and then I see him, with the machines, the life support, and I was like, what is going on here? And then, about 2 hours later, he ends up going into cardiac arrest again. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So
it was,
let me sort of go back to the part where you find out after the fact that someone thankfully was out there and decided to try to help your dad and administered CPR for 20 minutes. What did they tell you about how this happened? Like the emergencies, Urgence Santé showed up? What did they tell you?
Well, it's funny you're saying this because I actually just contacted the Urgence Santé. This morning we spoke because we have to give, permission slip and so on and so forth for them to give us the information. We are assuming that it was at Jerry Park. We don't know for sure because my dad walks everywhere. Like he lives around the Chabanel area, so we don't know if he was on Park Avenue. We don't know where we have no idea. So the hospital told us all they know is that he was picked up on the sidewalk somewhere, but we have no idea where. So now we're just waiting to hear from Urgence Santé, and we want to know. We said, please let us know, where was he picked up? Nobody can give us the information, so we're waiting to hear back to see exactly where my father was found.
But what did they tell you about this gentleman who administered the CPR?
That's all we know is that somebody performed CPR. That's all they know. It's not even a gentleman. We don't know if it's a man, a woman. We have no clue. And this is why I was telling my sister-in-law, I said, I would like to know, the day after, I said, who did this? Who's this person? So she's like, I'll post it on Montrealers, helping Montrealers. And next thing I know, you know what, it's amazing how everybody's reaching out, and we're trying to find this person. Now, some people are saying this person wants to be, kept anonymous, and I said, no problem, but, we'll keep it private, but we would love to meet this person that did this.
Well, sure, yeah.
Act of kindness. And I don't even realize, that this person knows he's a hero or she's a hero. So I had a client that just called me not long ago. She's a retired nurse, and she said, Gloria, she goes, I just heard about the story. She goes, and I'm a nurse. She goes, and I've performed CPR. She goes, and let me tell you, I don't know who this person is, but this person is amazing, because even with the team at the hospital, there's no way we could have done a 20-minute, training, not training, but the CPR on this person. Yeah, it takes a lot. It takes really, really a lot. So it's like, I don't know who this person is, but wow, absolutely amazing.
So you mentioned who's on the line. This is Lucie. Is it Lucie or Lucia?
Lucia.
Lucia.
Hi, but you could call me Lucie.
Okay, so what did you do? Are you the one who decided to go and take this in public, put it up on Facebook? What did you do?
Yes, exactly. So my sister-in-law, we were that night at the hospital. She was saying, I would love to know who this is. And I thought right away, let me post it on Montrealers Helping Montrealers.
Okay.
I'm a part of the group. And as soon as I did, the response was overwhelming. And that's when all the news channels, the radio started contacting us to get the story out. And for me, it was very important, especially seeing my this is my ex-father-in-law, wake up when he woke up from his so-called, I wouldn't say it was a coma, but I think he was 2 days still, hooked up to machines, ventilators. And I just wanted to say, when I saw him woke up, it was very emotional for me. I wanted to really say thank you to the person that saved him, because my daughter, who was the kindest person on this planet, passed away 2 years ago, and in kind of the same way. And looking at him was very emotional, because I kind of remembered her in the same position, and I know that she would have done anything to save her grandfather. So this is kind of like a full circle moment where I would love to find this person and tell them, you just performed the greatest act of kindness. And when you when you do an act of kindness, my daughter, that was her thing. She used to say that you kind of save the world. You change the world. So for me, I want that person to know that.
And I think everybody can understand that. I wonder, though, when you put something on Facebook, typically, enough people in a community see this, you actually end up with something, but still nothing as to who this person was, though.
Nothing.
No, and we don't understand why they're not coming forward. I don't understand why. People say, well, maybe they don't want to be, acknowledged, but why wouldn't you be? Because what a great example they're setting, right? It's like they didn't even think for a second.
I just want to specify something that maybe Gloria didn't, because I also spoke to Urgence Santé, and the person in question, when Urgence Santé shows up, the person can give their name or choose to remain anonymous.
Right.
And even if they give their name, Urgence Santé explained that before, in the past, they would give out the name, but now for legal reasons and confidentiality, they protect the person. So even when we get the report, if the name is written on the report, it will be blacked out, but at least we'll get the location.
Right. Have they been, I have to wrap up here, have they been, given the situation that you really just want to say thank you to whoever this person was, is Urgence Santé going to try to help you, or are they kind of like, sorry, it's a dead end, there's nothing more we can do here?
Oh, no, they're definitely going to step up, because this morning when they called me, they kind of had a bit of not an attitude, but they're like, oh, but there's protocol. And then when I explained to them what's going on, and they're like, wow. And I said, okay, just, send us, I need to send some identification of my dad to prove that it's him. And they said, and we're going to get on this, and we're going to be sending you
I hope we can work out this mystery, because it's such, as I said, it's a story that could have gone a whole other way, and it ended up, working out as well as it possibly could. So thank you both. And please, if this does, or when it happens, I hope I should say that perhaps instead, let us know. We'd like to follow up at that point, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you both.